Hello and welcome to the Tavern Chat podcast. I'm your host, Eric Tenkar, your bartender in the OSR, and this is another of our Designers and Makers series of episodes. We're now calling this, it's not an interview, it's more like a fireside chat. I got to thank Ian for that.
Should
And
be called an intervention.
well, it could, depending on who I'm dealing with. Folks, if you don't know yet, we have none other than Skeeter Green with us tonight. Skeeter.
Hello, people. What the hell's happening?
If you have to, if you were at all involved in old school gaming, if you go to conventions, you've met Skeeter. Trust me, you wouldn't forget you met him if you met him.
We may not have met, but we have encountered each other.
Yes, he's a force of nature at times.
Oh, well, thank you. Coming from you,
that
is very special.
Oh, I'm glad I make you feel special. You made me feel special, but that's only for private times.
Yeah, that's a big story about a hotel room. That was at GaryCon, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Yeah, because it was a hotel room that had the TV set in the bathroom window.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I just know about some weird stripper dance that happened in that room. So,
right.
Anyway,
yeah.
On to the fireside intervention.
There we go. We might. God knows, we might actually step into this again later. All right, Skeet. I'm going to ask you the 5 questions I ask everybody to get us at least a common grounding. Tell us about your first RPG experience.
The first time I ever played an RPG was D&D. It was at my cousin's house in his basement.
Okay.
The adults were upstairs watching the Seattle Supersonics play for the NBA championship. I remember because I didn't give a shit. So we were downstairs, and cousin, we were always compared growing up. He was in the smart kid classes. Some of his friends were down there, and they had these 3 little books, and they were talking about killing people, and I was instantly. So yeah, they did a homebrew right off the bat from the OD&D books.
Damn.
I got in, I got to play, and then I didn't have another D&D encounter until the next fall when I went to school. Some other rando kid brought in a D&D book, and being the quiet, reserved type that I am, I was the only one to yell, "I know what that is!" So that was a start, and I think that was in like 77 or 78.
Damn.
And I have not stopped playing D&D since then.
You came in before me. I came in with AD&D.
Well, it was a really big deal a couple of years ago, or last year. Maybe it was 2017. It was my 40 years of playing D&D.
Damn.
So, yeah, and unlike a lot of people, no casting dispersion, but I never had I stopped playing in college. I have played. I mean, sometimes it was just me reading the books, but right. I have played consistently the entire time. Some other shit thrown in there, but it's been largely D&D for 40 years.
See, like I played through college, but then I stopped playing at the end of the police academy, which means I must have been 29, because I
had a life.
I know, yeah. Well, when your weekends are Wednesday, Thursday, and your hours are 5:30 at night to 2:00 in the morning, it's hard to find time on a weekend to get the group together. And once I stopped gaming, the group just stopped gaming. You
Yeah,
know.
when I was in junior high and high school and into my 20s, my neighborhood buddies and I played at least twice, and that was the classic Saturday 12-hour games.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah. At first it was Sundays.
yeah, it was insane. Well, it started at like 6 Saturday night, and then we just never went to sleep, and then
Okay.
Sunday crashed at like noon. So
Wow.
yeah,
Okay.
it was crazy time.
Yeah, it was good times. Wasn't it nice when you had like no responsibilities and could game for like, I
Oh my
want to do
god.
I want to do 24 hours of gaming, until we pass out in our piles of cheese doodles and Gatorade. Uh
Well, now a good friend of yours and mine, Edwin Nagy,
oh yeah, I know. He's
does that 24 hours for Extra Life, and I've popped in to watch him and listen
so have
and
I.
you know send some money their way. But yeah, you see them at about the 20-hour mark, and it's like the Donner Party. They're looking haggard, and
Yeah.
some crazy shit's gonna go down.
Yeah, I would never willingly do that even for gaming, I think at this point. My last extended day like that was a 30-hour day at work when I was still working.
Yeah,
And when you leave at the end of that, and I was like, "Wow, here we are. It's a cold November day, and I'm driving with my windows down and the air conditioner on, no jacket, because I need the cold to keep me awake as I get home."
right, right. Well, actually, last year at um, I had gone to work in the morning, so I get up at 4 in the morning, and directly after work, I jumped on a flight and got into Milwaukee, and then drove to GaryCon.
Yeah.
So, needless to say, I was several Monster energy drinks into that day, and I was jacked by the time I got there.
Little
Couldn't
punch.
go to couldn't go to sleep, so I stayed up all night, built the level 1C Mouth of Doom that was set up on the table,
God bless you.
gamed through the entire day, got into Alex Kammer's off the books game at 8 p.m. the following day, and was
Jeez.
hallucinating at the table. And before he even started, I was like, dude, I gotta go. I can't do this. I'm tripping. And he's like, you don't look like you're even here. And then
Oh,
I think I slept for like 12 hours or something. So yeah,
obviously
I'm
well
not
needed.
I'm not built for that shit anymore.
Yeah, I think neither one of us are.
No, certainly.
All right, well, on to question number 2 for you. What is your go-to RPG system and why?
D&D. Just because at this point it's Swords and Wizardry. My favorite version D&D 1E,
Hmm.
and Swords and Wizardry is just it's it's elegant enough. The only time I ever play is at I don't have a home game.
Yep.
I started doing an online game that pick up again soon. I get my secret project out. Um,
Ooh.
and that was using 5th edition because
Oh,
I'm not for some reason 5th edition wasn't easy for me to pick up, and it feels like I'm making it harder than it is.
okay.
But I mean, I play it at conventions, and I can run it poorly at conventions. Um, but my go-to now is Swords of I think I have a pretty good grasp of that. It has flavor I'm looking for, drip down mechanic to just make it easy, especially for convention games.
Oh yeah, and what I like about Swords and Wizardry, like the complete rules play very close to how 1E ran,
Right.
with all the shit that we didn't use stripped from it, like, oh, I don't know, weapon speed,
Yeah.
weapon
Yeah.
versus AC adjustments, and
Yeah.
You
See,
know,
now in some games I've been in where they've done that, it was it was cool because everybody was into it and it was like, okay, yeah, this guy's in plate mail. Okay, I'm going to use this dagger. I'm probably not going to hit him, but you know what? I'm going to go faster than he does every single time.
right?
So maybe I can get him. So, I mean, but those are pretty short-lived. It's like, hey, let's use weapon speed tonight.
Yeah,
You
no,
know,
yeah.
it's like, nah, fuck that. Let's have beers. You
Oh,
know,
always a better choice.
yeah.
All right.
So,
Well,
so yeah, that's my go-to. Unless I'm playing Call of Cthulhu,
I was about to say that.
and then it's kind of a hybrid of several versions of Cthulhu because really my game doesn't use rules all that much when I'm doing that. It's just, hey, can I make you wet your pants? That's, roll some percentile dice to see how badly I'm going to screw you over.
So in other words, you should have like a box of Depends at the table, and like, all right, go to the bathroom, put these on, and come
Yeah,
back.
you're going to need this.
That actually wouldn't be bad to bring at least one pair with you and just put on the table. And you all brought yours, right?
Well, I actually ran for a large group at Gamehole Con, and the other players really got into their characters, and it was a tad frightening for me because when they went insane, they got hostile,
Oh, really?
and yeah, Alyssa Faden happened to be in that game, and her character had lost enough sanity points that um, her character's mental break was to get hostile and loud. And if you've been around Alyssa, she can get loud and she's terrifying. So it was awesome.
Since we're on Call of Cthulhu topic, did you buy the starter set, the box set?
I did get a box set. I pre ordered it. So I got it after everybody else got it. I don't know
Oh,
how that works, but that's got to be some kind of time warp.
yeah, because when it went live, I'm like, oh, let me order this, and I got it like 5 days later. Like, wow, that's pretty quick
Yeah,
turnaround.
I pre ordered it 4 months early and I got it like a month after everybody else.
I'm sorry to hear
Whatever.
that, but it's
I,
good. I'm
I'm
I'm thrilled by it. I could run this.
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
No, I know. Sorry, Skeety.
It's all right. These things happen.
All right, question number 3: race as class, yay or nay?
Nope, not having it. If
No.
if I want to have an NPC or if some character, the issue for me with those kind of game rules is I'm not gonna step on what somebody wants to play so they can enjoy, and it it kind of ties into the whole what is the OSR, which I have a whole gripe about that mentality set. But I'm not. I mean, if I'm playing a game for a bunch of kids and they say, "Hey, I want to be a robot and have a laser chainsaw, and I want to have a little dog that can cast spells," it's like, all right, that is going to make you have a good time. We're going to do that. And you know, I've I've been DMing games for at least 30 something of those 40 years, so I can make that happen. But arbitrarily saying, "No, you're an elf. You can do this and this," is like, nope, not having it.
And and that's all you can do. Well,
Yeah.
even well, thing is, like even Gary, he talks about
Well,
having dragons as player characters, and how it's like,
well, as has been pointed out repeatedly, and if you ever get the chance to listen to Tim Kask's Curmudgeon in the Cellar, he talks a lot about this kind of subject, and Gary in particular. He was very human centric. He wanted humans and, Knights of the Round Table to be the shining good force for good, which is, I know I'm going to get the hate mail. That's pretty narrow focus. He did everything for the game, but he wasn't flawless. There are things about the game that I do not play the way he wrote them, and I honestly think that he would appreciate that. He was all about rulings, not rules.
Right.
So,
And from what I've been told from people who have played with Gary, that Gary didn't follow the rules that he wrote anyway. So.
oh yeah, that's like, you've been in Matt Finch's games. He doesn't
Yes.
necessarily follow the Swords and Wizardry rules as written.
No.
So it's fantastic. The one thing I can say about Gary is I did meet him once at Gen Con, and
Nice.
I was at the Troll Lords booth looking at this crazy Castle Greyhawk folder, and they were selling them. You can get a signed and numbered copy, and I'm looking at it and going, oh man, this is sweet. I got to pick this up. And this guy was helping me, and he's like, are you looking for something specific? And I'm like, no, I'm cool, man. You go ahead and hang out. I'm just gonna buy this. And he goes, well, here, why don't you let me sign that for you? I had no idea it was him. It was just some old dude hanging out in the booth, and I was just
That's
like,
awesome.
oh my god. And then I think I said something clever like that. Oh, holy shit, you're Gary. He's like, yeah, I am. And then I scuttled away, which when Matt hears this, he will love that because he's got a great story about me acting like a geisha. So
That is
I
awesome.
I bowed and asked.
And so Skeeter scurried away afterwards.
I did. I am not too proud to admit it. Scurry like a MFer.
You can say, well, you can say shirt away like a fucker. People take offense if you add the M in sometimes. So.
Oh, people need to be slapped.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's why you said MFer, right? Because even you were like,
I can be cool. Oh, and by the way, I'd like to give a shout out to Gillette. That should offend some people too.
You're bad, man. You're bad.
Hey, you know what? I don't have two fucks to rub together. I do not care at all.
I know. All
right, back on track.
No, we're never on track, man. There's no rails. Well, there's semi-rails.
This is not a railroad?
No. Well, the beginning is we have 5 questions. But yes, after that, God help us. Where do you stand on save or die?
I think, like a lot of things, it's a tool in the toolbox. I think it has its place. I think if used judiciously and part of a good story, it's absolutely got its value. If you do it just be a killer DM and say, hey, I killed 30 people in this weekend convention of gaming, then it's kind of bullshit. Because I've been that DM. I've done that. I've done that at North Texas repeatedly. It's like, how many characters can I kill? And it's like, why? If I'm judging my value on how many characters I kill, that's lame. Because I'm the DM. And I have all the tools.
Yes.
Now, my goal is, how can I describe this and help these people solve the goal? When there is no part of convention gaming better than when you're running a game and a table of 10 people solve a problem and jump up and high five each other, especially when they're strangers.
Yes.
These people have bonded because you told a story and they were invested. That's where it's at. And the terror of the save or die can be part of that. But you can't just spread it around like fertilizer and kill people left and right for no reason. You want
Right.
all the dead characters.
I mean, yes, part of the OSR is it's easy to roll up a new character.
Yes,
but you shouldn't have to be doing it multiple times in a session.
I will posit that it is more terrifying to cripple a character than to kill him.
Oh yeah.
And I've done that a bunch of times. But if they can still be at the table and put their 2 cents in, that's what's important. Make them feel like they've played an adventure worth winning.
Well,
you like that little drop in?
Yes, an adventure worth winning. The new tagline for Skeeter Green Games.
No, that is no. That is an existing tagline from Frog God Game.
Oh yeah,
you should know that.
It just sounded so good. I figured it was coming from you now. New.
Oh shit! If it sounds good, it didn't come from me.
No,
no, that is the actual Matt Finch's right there.
Adventures worth winning.
Yep, he came up with that. And don't let anybody else in the company tell you different.
Oh, who could say differently?
It sure as shit wasn't Mike Battalato.
No. I wouldn't think it would be Mike, and Zach wouldn't say it, and Bill wouldn't care. Because he wouldn't. He'd be like, "Yeah, it's a great thing." I didn't say it. Doesn't have to be. Who?
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, who could it be? I don't know. I'll give you a foot up and let you make a guess. Oh, that was a bad joke. Never mind. We'll leave that one be.
Uh-oh.
Chuck can get mad at me later. Last question of these initial 5. What would the teenage you think if they could see what you would have accomplished in a hobby by this point in your life?
I've actually this is the one question out of the 5 that I've actually thought in. And there are 2. The funnier one is, again, last year at GaryCon.
Right.
I got to have lunch with Zach Glazer, Bill Webb, Matt Finch, Luke Gygax, and Turbo. We just sat around at a table, got away from everybody, kind of shot the shit. Luke and Turbo didn't do any convention stuff, so we just sat there and talked and told stories, and kind of in the RPG world, we took a step outside of it and just got to be a bunch of guys,
right,
telling stories. So then Luke told the story about the dice fiasco for last year. And so he didn't, for people who don't know, GaryCon had a pricing issue with their dice, and they sold out super fast because that like a per dice thing, they were sets for this cost. Yeah, it was a major oops. It was so bad that they sold out. Luke didn't even get any of the dice.
Oh, damn.
So I had bought 2 sets, so I gave him, 2 dice, 1 out of each set.
Right.
And so that became kind of a joke that I would give him shit about dice, all through lunch. And then finally, when we broke up and left, we went our separate ways, and I gave him one more joke about the dice, and then he gave me the double bird flip off salute. And at that minute, that is exactly when the teenage me, who read all these stories, read through Dragon Magazine about Luke and Ernie Gygax playtesting Gary Gygax house, and Luke is about my age, and he was somebody I gravitated as like, oh, Elf and Luke Gygax. This is so cool. So to have that happen, where this guy obviously considers me somebody who he's at least friendly with. He
Right.
can be like this. That was a big freaking deal. That was
Nice.
so. The second one was at Gen Con 50. My wife Jen and I went to Gen Con. The
Right.
convention is not named after her, but it should be. So we went, and there was some stuff going on, and I was not super happy with the RPG hobby people in it. I was kind of down the whole thing,
Right.
and was pretty much done. I was done with the business. I wasn't going to do it anymore. I was thinking about maybe going to conventions just as a fan, but I wasn't. I was done. Business side of it, I was over completely.
Damn.
So I was, yeah, it was dark, and Jen was like legitimately concerned about me. I was not in headspace,
Right.
and you've been to Jen. It's crazy.
Well, I
There
went to
are
Gen Con, but that was Gen Con 25 back in like, I don't know, 93 or whatever it was.
Yeah. So there's 70,000 people there for Gen Con 50 or more. But that was the number that I heard. And we the only games that we were able to get in Gen was Alex Cameron game that he had offsite. That was
Okay.
an invite only game because Alex, all the game hole guys,
Right.
the best people. So sidecar, we're in Alex's game, and he's playing, and we had a question about, we're playing 5e because Alex loves 5e, and we had a rules question. We didn't know how a spell works, so Alex turns his head. We're in a room that Alex has sequestered.
Right.
There's only one other table full of people playing. It's fucking Jeremy Crawford and his game group over there. So Jeremy was kind enough to get up, explain the spell to my table, be super gracious, and then walk back over to his table and his people. And it was just like, what? Did that really happen? What the hell is going on? So that was a little side, but so that was a cool thing. That was up to that point. That was the only cool thing about Gen Con. But then we went to Lucas Oil Stadium, and we saw the museum. And I don't know if you heard about it or got to see it. They had for the 50th, they had Bill Meinhardt's collection and some pieces from are in the football stadium on like the 50-yard line,
Damn.
just displayed in these glass cases. And it was set up chronologically, so they have the brown box starts it off, and then they have the actual original map for dungeon is there, and then you go a few more years, there's the first edition Call of Cthulhu box, and there's all this stuff, all these box sets, and it's all beautiful stuff. And then you start going around, and you go, okay, here's second edition, and here's some third edition stuff, and here's Paizo's display, the stuff that they've brought. And I have a lot of friends with Paizo.
Right.
They have treated me fully over the years. So it's cool to see all this stuff, and it's like, hey, there's my buddy. Hey, I know him. Here's this stuff. And we start going around some more, And in this one case, there's Lamentations of the Flame Princess, and there's the White Box Swords and Wizardry box set, and then there's a bunch of Dwarven Forge stuff, and I'm like, holy shit, I know these guys. Look at all this cool shit in here, man. This is I'm getting super excited, and this is all cool, and we're getting towards the end, and there's like stuff from WotC that's board game and some Star Wars stuff, and I'm looking at this last case, and I kind of got my head cocked like a dog, checking this
Right.
out. I'm not understanding what I'm seeing, because on the bottom of this glass shelf, there's this book, and it's all got this screwy weird cover, and I can't figure it out. So I get in there real close, and it's the metal covered Bard's Gate.
Holy shit.
And I looked at that, and it didn't soak in for the longest time that was Bard's Gate, because Bard's Gate was the book that we just finished that burned me out. But it was the book that I, to this day, probably the most proud of.
Well, you should be. It's fucking awesome.
What we took it from, not that it was ever a bad book, but because of a bunch of different things, it wasn't the book it should have been. And Bard's Gate is such an anchor to the Lost Lands. And I saw that book, and I started to tear up, because there was a book that I got author credit on that is in the D&D museum displayed at Gen Con 50, and I sat there with it. It was like a kid, It totally tripped me out and spun my head around and did all this. And then as we're leaving, Bill Meinhardt is coming to the display, because he's doing a tour. You had to buy these tickets. And he notices it's me and Jen, gives her a big hug, gives me a hug and everything. And then later on, after he did his tour, we caught up with him, and he told me that he had specifically put that book in because he knew how. And I was absolutely blown away.
That's awesome, man. Bard's Gate is one of those gaming resources that goes to 11 in Spinal Tap words.
Yeah, I mean, I was the first naysayer to say, why in the hell are we putting a metal book together? That's the dumbest thing ever. We're never going to sell any of those. Sold them all. Every single one of them that was made, unless Bill kept some for himself, which I think he's got a copy each done. But yeah, they all sold for huge amounts of money. But totally worth it, because you're never going to see anything like that again. There's no practical commercial sense.
No.
It is strictly we're going to make the coolest product we could think of. I mean, if it had like a gun turret on it, maybe that would be cooler, but not by much.
And it probably wouldn't be legal.
Oh, absolutely. Not that would stop it.
Yeah, true. Damn.
So, but yeah, I didn't mean to hijack the whole thing with my ego. Hey, my book was in there thing, but
no, but that's not a hijack, and it's not an ego thing. That's something to be very proud of. And I'll be honest with you, I'm impressed that you didn't bawl, because I would have been bawling if I saw my shit like that.
Well, I all man here, so no tears. That Gillette commercial.
I'd like to say that I've stopped shaving because of that, but Rach will tell you that I just stopped shaving. I need to shave again.
No, and the things about the two stories that meant so much to me and actually kept me in for RPG design and gaming is examples of people who didn't have to be super cool to me and were, just because they're cool people and they're good people. That made a big difference. And that was actually my change for when I go to convention about not trying to kill people's character.
Interesting.
Because I heard this thing once, and I always attribute it to Gene Simmons, and I don't know if he was actually the guy who said it,
No, we'll find
but
out.
it was somebody who was in a big band, and they said no matter what happens when you go out on that stage, doesn't matter how you could have the worst day you've ever had, everything in the day has gone wrong, but there are 10, 15, 20,000 people that have saved up their money, bought a ticket to come and see you. You better make sure it is your duty to make sure this is the best show they've ever seen in their life. And that mentality, it took a long time for it to soak in, but that is what I go to. Because you've been to conventions, you know you can't always get tickets to games.
No.
And it's hard. And sometimes you can't get the time off work. You can't spend the money to fly your entire family across the country to what convention it is. So if somebody sits at my game, it is on me to make sure they leave that game shaking my hand and saying, Peter, that was a great game. That was a lot of fun. And that if I don't get that, then I drop the ball.
Yeah, that nothing feels better either by getting that response from a bunch of mostly strangers. You know, there are people you might have met over convention times or online that come to your game, but when you have a group of strangers shake your hand and thank you and say I had a great time for running something, there's little that can compare. I mean, I had that at what really struck me was last year's GaryCon when I had to run a 5e game.
Yep, that was on Sunday too, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
And I don't run 5e, so I brought Swordsman's Relight with me. And of the table of 8, one person decided he didn't want to give it a shot. Everybody else did. And at the end, not only did everybody thank me for a great game, but people went to the Frog God table to get more swords and wizardry stuff.
Yep, I remember that.
And I was like, "Holy shit!" If your batteries are ever low, something like that recharges you and then some. I was like the ever ready bunny after that. I was like bouncing.
Oh my god, yeah, totally. That kind of stuff there's nothing better. And actually, the only thing, and this is a little sidecar to getting that big moment, is if you have kids in your game or somebody that this is the first time they've played and you hook them because they've had such a good time, that's the pinnacle.
Yeah.
If you can start somebody on a 40-year playing RPG, done it right.
Yep, that 40-year journey, man. That is something special. Actually, come to think of it, I think this might be my 40th year. Holy
Sweet.
crap! I'm gonna have to do the actual math on that one.
Yeah, a couple of years ago, I was doing the math pretty hard. No, can't. I know I'm getting old. No,
dude. You know what? My parents are in their upper 70s and they look like they could be in their 50s, and I go, holy shit, I'm in my 50s. Hopefully I don't look it.
No, you're doing all right. You're hanging in there.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm trying to, like, you know, my pinnacle health is I'd like to, like, you know, be half a Skeeter. I actually listen, I actually got you know, a stationary bike last Friday so I can
Nice.
Yeah. Well, I've been going to physical therapy and they've been putting me on the sit down stepper, And I'm leaving physical therapy actually feeling good about myself. I'm like, I'm pumped. I've got those.
Good, man.
It
Good.
feels good.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah. I'm like, oh, let me order something for the house so I don't have an excuse not to do it.
Yeah, all my injuries from last year, yeah, that
Mhm.
shit's done. No hernias, no torn tendons, no blown out knees, no nothing.
Nice, good. Let's keep
I
it that
am
way.
Yep, I am getting back to it.
Hopefully, gradually, because we know Skeeter, and Skeeter is all or nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's had to be dialed way back. No, I did.
Excellent.
I was last year I posted on Facebook trying to post an exercise regimen, and some other people in the RPG sphere
Hmm.
getting were getting involved too. They're like, this is motivating. Thank you for doing that. I was like, absolutely. And then I got hurt. Then I got hurt again. And then I got hurt again and got pretty down. So I started being able to work out January 1st, and it's been miserable. I mean, it's been hard, but I'm only going to get better.
There you go.
You gotta start somewhere. So, and shout out to Greg Gillespie. That dude looks like a model, and he's been working the workout torch for quite a while. So he's been the much better me in my absence.
Okay. All right now. Since
Was that
wow.
weird? Did I make it weird in here?
Yeah, it's kind of like because my memories of Greg Gillespie is the shot with Greg sitting down and Jane Spahn apparently kicking me in my gonads. But
Yeah, that was fantastic. I really enjoyed that.
yeah, oh, I'm sure you did.
Yeah,
Thank God it was more trick photography apparently than anything else.
yeah,
Because if James had kicked me in the balls, Jesus,
yeah.
I,
That,
I might not be talking today. I might be like
yeah,
talking like
that would be a
this.
serious bummer
Yeah,
for
yeah,
you.
yes.
Would have been great for us.
Well, Rach would have had to file the complaint. Like, look what you did to my husband. Now he's worthless. But Skeet, since you are no longer with Frog Eye Games, at least in an official sense, you've launched your own business, I believe, your
I
own publishing
have
line.
I have created SGP, Skeeter Green Production, and with the help of numerous people in the industry that have given me their opinions and insight and help with games, I am going to be launching my first product here in a couple of months, I think.
Really?
Yep.
Now, is this top secret? I can't tell you anything about it, or is it like just like confidential? I can let a few things slip.
No, we can shout it from the mountaintops.
Well, then shout it.
It's
Shout it.
called Cryptid the Science Wizard.
Ooh.
Yeah. I posted the cover art that was done by Adrian Landros. He's done a ton of stuff for Frog God Games. The very cool kind of 70s rock album covers.
Ooh, nice.
That sort of art. That was done. So I got that piece of art and I gave it to the RPG literal wizard, Jim Wampler, and
Uh-huh.
he created a piece of cover art. Well, the cover itself is a piece of art,
Mm-hmm.
and it's everything I love about schlocky, kind of like the way Jim describes it is it's like Kansas and the Misfits got busy in the back of a car, and this is what came out of it.
Two bands I really like, not ones I would normally think of on the same LP, but yes.
So the cover art is it's very Oasis of the White Palm.
Okay.
It's very reminiscent of that. It's got the cool clouds. The title font is very like 50s horror, like eerie magazine,
Oh yeah.
that kind of thing. It's just got a super cool vibe. And the reason that I talk up the cover art and the picture is it's kind of an attitude. So for people that have gotten into the Death Saves, that clothing line by Joe Manganiello, kind of a lot of what they do is that Frazetta art vibe.
Okay.
So it's the jacked Conan and Tarzan, where it was that pulpy fiction, and it's like, Indiana Jones is awesome, but if Indiana Jones had been done by Frazetta, that would be shit. That kind of
Yeah.
feel. So that's what I'm trying to make my brand.
Right.
And I'm releasing this for 5th edition and Swords and Wizardry.
Woohoo!
I'm gonna dual release it,
Nice.
and I'm doing that largely because 5th edition is the way of. I mean, that's
It's the
just,
market. Yeah.
yeah, it is the driving force for other markets. And honestly, if you write with an old school mindset, it doesn't matter what game mechanic you use.
Right.
I mean, this is the way I describe this to people when they read it. Um, is this is my loving attempt to bring back the Tomb of Horrors for a new generation of.
Oh, nice.
Because the whole time when the first time you either played or read the Tomb of Horrors, you just looked at that and went, "What the fuck is going on? How, you can't do this. You can't make it through this." And then people start making it through, and they're proud of it. So that's what this is all about. And if I get even marginally close to that goal, I will be so proud of this. I'm not assuming that I'm going to hit the mark, but I've gotten some very good feedback. I've gotten a lot of, "Holy shit, man, what's wrong with you?" So I think that's a good start.
I think it is very good. Now, this can be kickstarted.
It is so that's a very interesting thing. It is going to be kickstarted, but the way I'm doing the Kickstarter for this is much more of a ordering method,
Okay.
because the books will be in my hand before the Kickstarter goes off.
Holy
So
shit, dude.
there's not going to be. I have foot the bill for everything. So Kickstarter is my way of trying to recover some money. Um,
Well, actually, if you have it physically in hand, then there's something else you can do. You can offer signed copies.
well, funny you should mention that, because um, some the book is targeted to be 48 pages. There is almost no interior art. It's all text, but there is 20 pages of the little black and white art book, like
Ooh,
like Tomb of
you,
Horrors,
you're killing me,
and
dude. You're killing me.
like Greg Gillespie, because when I said everybody should bring that style back, I was barraged with faithful Greg Gillespie fans telling me he does that, and I did not at all suggest he did not, or that I was unique or anything like that. I think more people should be doing it. But so the baseline pledge is going to be just for the PDF, which is X amount of dollars. These are all going to be soft covers, because
Okay.
at 48 pages, doing a hardcover is ridiculous. But they're going to be what's the staple backing? It's not going to be that glued spine bolt. It's going to be the stapled. I don't remember what that's called. It's like the TSR first edition module that we know of. So
okay.
it's going to be the removable cover. It's going to be a module like and the art pages are going to be in the back of it, just like in Tomb of Horror.
Right.
There's going to be a special version. There's going to be 25 S&W and 25 5e that are going to be signed and numbered.
Ooh.
And they are going to have those art pages in a separate digest size booklet that comes with it. So you actually get 2 physical products. And when I say signed and numbered, I mean signed with my name, numbered, and you're going to get a little story anecdote written out in the book somewhere as well, because I think that kind of shit is funny.
So in other words, you're going to personalize it? Oh God!
I'm gonna personalize 50 of these books.
Well, you
for the
know,
Kickstarter.
Yeah, you know I'm getting a Swords and Wizardry one. You know that. So
yeah.
All right.
So, in addition to this ill-conceived plan, at North Texas, my loving home away from home, there are going to be 25 S&W and 25 5th edition books done digest size specifically for North Texas, and they will be stamped across the front with the Texas Bootleg Special Edition. And there may or may not be added material or removed material or stories or drawings by me in them, but they will be special. One of those 50 released at NTX will be one of a kind, each one. So
just take my fucking money, dude.
That's the thing that's gonna happen. Because hey, if I'm gonna put this out, I am already out a bunch of, but I am not going to put out something that is a piece of shit or that I can't look at 5 years from now and go, you know what, that's still pretty fucking awesome.
Oh, certainly.
So that's the goal. And one more thing about the Kickstarter is it funds after $50. So there's not going to be any of this. Oh, are we going to fund? Oh my God! Yes,
it's happening. The books are already there.
The books are going to be sent. So the little video I have to make for Kickstarter is going to be me sitting in this office. People can make fun of my bookshelves full of toys and shit, and I'm going to be holding the book in my hand and go, "This is what you're trying to get," and then the fancy ones, "This is what you're going to try and get." Now, that's the plan. What I do not have is the printing quote yet. And if that ends up being, highway robbery because tariffs,
right,
then I may have to adjust that plan slightly. But I don't think I'm going to have to. I think I'm going to absorb it. Just hope people love me.
People should love you.
Last little tidbit of information, depending on the price run, this will be a first run only. So depending on the price break, if it's at 250 or 300 copies, those will be it for the first run. And if I get enough interest to reprint it, it will be reprinted in a different color. So the Kickstarter is first run stuff, limited quantities. it will either be a total of 500 or a total of 600. That's it.
Damn. All right.
But I'm going to make it worth your while.
I have no doubt. No doubt whatsoever, sir.
And then if I do the weird ones for convention specific, then those will be different. So, yeah, I'm excited.
Well, you should be excited. I'm excited. And you're going to be taking my fucking money, which doesn't excite me, but is what it is.
It's better to get a book than me just like grab your wallet and run.
That point well taken.
There you go, man.
There you go.
See, I'm already making it better.
I'm
all about helping.
Okay. I'm not going to go that far, but I'll grant you some of that.
I'm all about bullshit, that's for sure.
well, we've been bullshitting now for about 55 minutes.
Oh, okay. Well, you tell me when we have to close up shop.
I think we're going to
do this all day.
So could I, but now I have to go from doing this to going and doing a tavern chat. So,
oh boy,
that's okay. Dude, it's just only I should be cloned, but then you'd have to deal with more than one of me, and I don't know if that's good.
Yeah, I thought about that. I thought how much work I could get done if there were 3 or 4 of me. Then I thought, no, not at all, because they would fight.
They would fight, get distracted. Just more distractions. More me is more distractions. So.
Yeah, no, my bunch of me's fight because they would call.
Yeah, would not be pretty.
Nope. So, all right, I will be at TotalCon. That is the first playtest of Crypt of the Science Wizard.
Ooh, well, I'm not gonna get a chance to play it, but I certainly want to peek at it. I'll be there with Reach.
Sweet.
Yeah, we'll be driving. This is a con I can drive to. Thank God.
I don't know if we're gonna have a finished. What I'm gonna plan on doing is printing out a test run of the cover, just like on my printer, so I can people that I'm running the actual game with. Because I need a copy of it to run the game.
Generally speaking, yeah.
And because my friend Zach Glazer is such a goddamn wizard about things, I have a printed out map on a shower curtain. That's what we're going to be gaming on.
Oh, nice.
And this is a test run of the shower curtain when the module had a different name.
Mm-hmm.
So it is possible in the Kickstarter, there will be one high dollar pledge that has the shower curtain too. Signed with an anecdote.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, we'll have to put a warning on that one.
Maybe not.
We'll see.
If I can get a parental advisory sticker, stick it right on.
I could give you crime scene tape, but I can't get you a parental advisory. If you wanted a TotalCon, just remind me how many feet you want.
Enough to go around a table.
Okay, we'll figure it out.
Because that would be awesome. That would set a tone.
Yes, it would. All right. On that note, we are going to wrap this up. Skeeter, thank you very much for sitting down. We got to do this again because obviously we got a lot more talk in us.
Well, thank you very much for inviting me. I've seen the list of the people that you had on here. I am very humbled and appreciative to be even considered for the. So thank you very.
No, you're very welcome, Skeet. I'm very glad that I can consider you a friend because God knows I would not want you as an enemy.
I can do some terrible shit.
Seen it with my own eyes. Laughed my ass off until
hashtag Mike Bottolato.
Bad Mike. On that note, folks, we are going to bid you adieu. As always, God bless. And I will talk with you tomorrow. Skeet will probably have to see you at a convention. Or you can catch him on YouTube with Zach Glazer on occasions. Or is it Facebook?
It is Facebook. Currently, I co-host the Goddamn It Zach show with Zach Glazer. I am his humble sidekick.
humble sidekick who is the one that started the goddamn it, Zach. But we'll save that for the next time I pull Skeet out of his.
Hey, you can also buy a Goddammit Zach t-shirt.
All
I
right,
have a few left.
If you know Skeeter on Facebook or you want to reach out to him on the Discord server as Skeeter, ask him for a shirt. See if he has your size. Do you have gamer sizes left?
I have some XL and 2X. So
all right, so Bear, that's like healthy gamer sizes.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that's fit gamer.
Yes. All right, folks. Thank you as always. Later.